guys, welcome back. It's Foxy Mama 365. Thank you guys for all the birthday messages. Yesterday was my birthday. I had so much fun. It was just so... I didn't really do anything. I just sat at home. But it was just so nice to literally just sit and not do anything, which was just my one wish. Yeah, I had some cake as well, and yeah, lots of food. Anyways, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 17, and it's called A Whole Lot of Mess. This episode really was a whole lot of mess, okay? It just was just so much mess going on. So we start back with Marlo walking in with Kenya. They are at Blaze, which is Candy's, new restaurant opening up, and they're doing a tasting. So of course Marlo gives a weak ass apology to everyone for her behavior when they were in New Orleans, and the fact that she had really made the whole situation, the dinner with Big Frida, and you know what's gonna happen next? Yeah, she's like, she really didn't think she was. I mean, she kind of blew it out of proportion. Everybody's looking at her kind of like, yeah, you really did, because you are inserting yourself like a used tampon into that whole Portia and Kenya situation, which had nothing to do with you. Anyways, Kenya, Portia is like, okay, she really doesn't care. So she apologizes to Portia. Portia is like, really, she doesn't really care. Dust, okay? Kenya takes Candy out. Candy, can I speak with you for a little? And she goes off and talks about Mark being in town. The next day is meant to be little Brooklyn's birthday. I think it's her one year birthday party. So Mark is in town for that, and she's kind of confused and almost in tears. Kenya's such a great actress at this, She's like, she doesn't really know if he's gonna be staying with her. They haven't really decided, and and I'm like, girl, why would he stay with you? Like, you guys are going through a divorce. Are you not getting divorced? So everything is just so confusing. So it's such that even her friend Candy saying, girl, let it go. You want to be with this guy, but he doesn't want to be with you. Like, move on. Anyway, she says she's probably not going to really stay for long. She's going to enjoy the salad, and she's going to move on, Mark is clearly not fighting to be with her. Mark just wants to, his daughter. And that's pretty much what it is. But Kenya keeps on giving us this thing like, oh, where are they? Are they really going to be together? And I'm thinking, the guy has made it very clear to you. He doesn't want you, Kenya. It's sad, but it is your reality. You guys have never really been married. Like, we never ever saw a time where you guys were like really happy together, except the one day you didn't have eggs and you made pancakes at home, and he was like, oh yeah, who doesn't have eggs? It's never really been. It's sad, but Kenya, move on. You can do so much better. That's what I'm gonna say. Anyways, so we have everyone there. Of course, we have Aunt Berta and Mama Joyce are all there, and Candy's there, Todd is there, making sure everything is good. The food, garlic crab noodles, glazed prawns, fried lobster jambalaya, mac and cheese, and ladies are getting full, and you're like, hello, it's meant to be a tasting, not a feeding, okay? Anyways, Cynthia and Portia lets them know that there's going to be a pop-up shop. They're going to be trying to help small businesses, and as well as to showcase their own businesses as well. So Marlo says, yeah, she's still feeling guilty about what happened at the trip to New Orleans, and how she was a big mess and she was talking too much. And Portia really doesn't care. She's like, oh, she texted Portia, but she didn't get a response back from Portia. And Portia's like, yeah, I meant to respond to you. Was that what happened to your back when your nephews jumped on your back? And at this point, Shamia says, yeah, but really, was that what really happened? Or because we heard that you were trying to get the liposuction, or you are scheduled to do that. And Marlo starts to explain that, oh yeah, it happened before. Her back was because of her nephews jumping on it. And you're like, girl, what are you doing, girl? Because someone that knows you said you've actually gotten the liposuction 2 days before. And Marlo is going, no, she doesn't really understand why you guys are attacking me, and know that she hasn't had want to see that belly cut, okay? You can tell clearly Marlo is lying. But the thing is, you already know that you're going to get liposuction. So why are you lying? Some people that just tell lies for no damn reason. Marlo, why do you need to lie? You're already letting us know you're going to have liposuction. So why do you need to lie? Like, just let the lady... I don't get it. Anyways, Marlo got caught telling a lie and trying to blame the kids. And we're having none of it, okay? No, ma'am. So like Portia says, you're trying to hold everybody else's feet to the fire and saying, oh, why are you sleeping with Bolo? But here you are lying on the kids, you know, why are you doing that? Later on, Shamia came out on social media and said that people didn't really understand why she was going at Marlo that hard. That it was because Marlo had said something about trying to sleep with her husband, that Shamia's husband. So that was why, but that was cut out from the whole, what we saw. Bravo, people! Yeah, we want to see all of this. That way we can make informed, you know, understanding. We really understand. Like if, because everybody just thought Shamia was riding for Portia, you know, to like, yeah, this is my friend, I'm gonna ride for Portia. And it's like, no, Marlo had actually done something to her. So cut them lies, okay, Marlo, cut all those lies. and whatever. Anyway, so at this point, Marlo turns to Aunt Bertha and says, Aunt Bertha, she doesn't understand what the issue is. Why is Portia attacking her? Because Portia like, girl, I'm not attacking you. I'm too blessed. You know, I don't have time. She's like high-fiving everybody else at the table. Yeah. And Marlo's hand is hanging. She left Marlo's hand hanging. And then Bertha's like, oh, I thought you guys were friends. And Bertha's like, you know what? We can break bread. But that's about it, okay? I'm good. And you see Marlo whispering to Candy and saying, what's wrong with this girl? Doesn't she know that you've actually told me the tea? I'm kind of like, leave me out of it. And of course, you see a shady moment where there's a mic flip with Candy and Marlo, in which Candy is saying something, but she doesn't mention Bolo. But it's almost like Candy is actually confessing that indeed something happened with Portia and Bolo. And she's saying, well, you know what, I sleep good at night. Do you sleep good at night? Even though you're my friend, you are not my friend. And Portia's like, girl, what are you talking about? Girl, I sleep good on my pampered by Portia sheets, okay? Yes, Portia, put that in there. Put your businesses up. You know, I just don't know why Marlo, and then of course Marlo in her confessional actually says that, oh, Candace confessed and said that, yeah, she knows it was Portia. You know, so I'm thinking, really, Marlo, is this really your how you think friends should be? I don't know. It's just, I'm really surprised that Marlo is doing all this and riding this hard for Kenya. Kenya that has cursed you out at every point. Kenya that should have invited you to her opening, and you had actually helped organize her opening of her house, and she didn't invite you. Instead, she invited Nini, who wasn't her friend. And now you're trying to like suck up into Kenya's ass, Marlo. I'm surprised, but I guess bitches will be bitches, and Marlo just looking for camera time. Anyways, and that's what Portia says. Like, this girl's just thirsty, okay? Thirsty. Anyways, moving on. Latoya and the Prophet Lot. This situation is stupid. No, it's not stupid. This situation is ridiculous. And not just ridiculous, but you also see a situation where a young woman who probably going through a divorce and going through a situation is being preyed upon by a man of God. Girls, why do you guys always feel a need that you're looking for God? Did anybody tell you that God was lost? Why do you guys always feel a need to find somebody else to interpret the Bible for you? The Bible is in English. It's very clear. Pick up the Bible and read it for yourself. Why do you guys always feel, oh, you need to be close to a man of God, a woman of God, who's going to be collecting money from you and be taking all kinds of stuff from you and be like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm just sorry. I have just never understood this prophet thing. I have always understood, if you have an issue, take it to God in prayer. On your 2 knees, right? Shut the door behind you. And that is pretty much like, that's why we have Jesus Christ who died on the cross for us, such that we can go direct. We have direct access to God. You know, you don't need a man of God to tell you to stop drinking. Come on, girl. Like, that's how a lot of people get into trouble. I know, okay? Anyways, phew, that was a lot. Anyways, Drew's with her husband Ralph, and they're talking about how unfortunately they cannot let her baby dedication is not going to happen because the prophet Lot, who was meant to be doing it, is not going to be able to do it anymore because her driver had introduced Latoya the night after the niece's party. Latoya had been drinking quite a bit, and her driver had introduced her to Prophet Lot to kind of help her, and she said she was doing a 60-day or 40-day whatever it is coaching session with him. So she had met him. However, she had booked a room for him, and he's all the way from Houston, and it seemed kind of funny because now her mom had gotten involved and said something was going on with Latoya and the Prophet, and they didn't like it, and because of that they can't do the christening yet. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, you can't be christening your child when the child is like 2 or 5. Like, I make it make sense. Drew, that didn't make sense to me. However, Drew says she wasn't happy about Latoya getting close to the Prophet because the Prophet is their family, and they know he just had a baby recently, and also he's also has a fiance. And I'm thinking to myself, a Prophet that just had a baby out of wedlock and I'm like, this is all some mess, girl. So I'm thinking, why do you want somebody that can barely get their life in order to get your life in order? Like, does it make sense? This Prophet is not married, has been engaged for 3 years, has a baby out of wedlock, or whatever it is. Like, I'm not judging anyone's situation, but I'm just saying, okay? You guys want this man, Latoya wants this man to guide her life when he hasn't even gotten his life in order? Okay, girl. Okay. Anyways, the baby blessing is off, okay? Yeah, praying on the Prophet. So Drew feels that Latoya is praying on the Prophet. Not praying, but praying, okay, on the Prophet. So the pop-up shop, what's going to happen there? So they have Portia. Portia has her bedsheet line, I think it is. Cynthia is there with, I don't even know what Cynthia was saying. Oh yeah, Cynthia has her winery. Everything is happening at her winery. Drew has some nice kid music to help the kids settle in. Don Juan is there with his own stuff too. And yeah, Kenya Moore also has some people representing her. So Drew starts spreading the tea, okay? She's telling everybody that wants to know. She's telling Candy, she's telling Paul, she's telling Cynthia. And Cynthia's like, girl, you know what, I don't want to know this tea, okay? But they're all listening. And she's saying, yeah, because of Latoya getting close to the Prophet, and Latoya possibly sleeping with the Prophet, that now the baby dedication is off, or the baby blessing is off. And Candy's like, what? Anyways, fortunately or unfortunately, Drew shows up. She shows up very, very late, but she shows up. And they're like, girl, why are you late? Oh, I had to run some errands. She has no products whatsoever. Nothing, no skin in the game. Anyways, they're like, girl, do you know what's going on? They're talking about you. They're saying, yeah, that, you know, the Prophet, you have a new man and he's from Atlanta and this is what's going on. So they move all together to go have this conversation. Everyone is there. Shamia is there. Portia is there. Drew's there. They're drinking, okay, and cheering to each other. So, girl, what's going on with this Prophet thing? You know, you said you met someone from Texas. And she's like, yes, I told you I met someone from Texas and he's been coaching me. However, is he the only one from Texas? No. So why are you so bothered about my business and me meeting the Prophet? You know, and of course at this point, Drew is saying, well, you have been, because of you, I can't have this blessing because you're sleeping with this man, or something is going on because you booked a room for him. Oh, and all the ladies are like, oh, that much? What is going on? So she's like, yeah, no, that's not the truth. You don't know anything about my life. You know, you have a Delilah spirit. I don't have a Delilah spirit. What the hell is a Delilah spirit? So if you guys don't know who Delilah is, in the Bible, there's a man named, was he a prophet? He was a kind of a prophet. Okay, yeah, prophet. Named Samson, and he was a strong, really strong man. And all his strength came from his locks of hair, which was really long. Delilah had been this lady that had been sent to kind of like sleep with him and get the information of how he got all his strength. And pretty much he told her all his strength came from his hair. And one night when he was sleeping, she took a scissors and chopped off all his hair. And that's how he lost all his strength. So he couldn't fight anymore. But he eventually, he went blind as well because of all of that. So that is why the Delilah spirit, because someone that kind of seduces men. That's what that is. So anyways, so Drew thinks, yeah, Latoya is a Delilah spirit, that she wasn't really there for, you know, to pray. She was there to pray. And Candy is saying, no, girl, it doesn't make any sense. That let her play the devil's advocate. If anything, don't you think that this man is an adult man and he's actually the one that should be in control? And shouldn't he be the one guiding, you know, like, isn't he praying on Latoya? And I agree with that. You know, initially I was thinking, oh, you know, some ladies will say, oh, girl, why would you sleep with the Prophet and all of that? But she said that didn't happen. So anyways, Latoya is out. She says, you know what, she's going to go look for another prophet somewhere else. Douches, peace. So that's how that ends. More mano. Oh yeah, Kenda is getting the breast reduction, which is kind of cool. she feels, yeah, her boobs, she wants, they're kind of loop-sided, and she now wants them to be perky and, you know, in good shape. So she's going to be doing that, which is kind of nice, you know. So she's going to be having the ladies over. Yeah, Cynthia says have ladies over so you can reveal, you know, do a breast reveal, a new breast reveal and all of that. Kenya's pool is ready, yes. And Marlo is here. Finally, Marlo is at Momano. And Marlo is so excited to be here. She's like, yes. And Kenya says, oh, isn't it everything has gone full circle? Because pretty much why Kenya and, again, like I said, why Kenya and Marlo fell out was because Marlo wasn't invited to Kenya's house opening or house warming when she built the house. And instead, she had Nini, because there was a picture of Nini and all of the other ladies there. So it was kind of like Marlo felt slighted. So anyways, Kenya has no food, and nobody can understand why you don't have food, because the last time you had lots of meatballs and stuff. How come you ain't got no food now after everybody is getting an EBT card? So bitch, go get some food, okay? So they get talking about Kenya's boobs and motorboarding. Nobody has motorboarded it, and Cynthia, as usual, is naive and says she doesn't know what motorboarding is. Girl, Google third trimester Tristan and you will know what motor... I didn't, okay? Yeah. Anyways, Latoya gets to showing Cynthia what motorboarding is. So what happens at the pop-up shop? What happened at the pop-up shop? Kenya wants to know. So of course they get to feeding her in and telling her no, but yeah, that, you know, the prophet thing was happened, and Drew was saying how her baby dedication or her baby blessing couldn't go on because the prophet was now allegedly sleeping with Latoya. And Kenya's like, why is that her business? That doesn't make any sense. Why is Drew acting holier than thou? They've seen a lot of things about Drew, bent forward over the coffee table, with Bolo all behind her, that wasn't exactly a holy moment and all of that. So anyways, they don't understand why she's going that far. But before this, of course, Kenya gets to telling the ladies about Mark and how her baby's 2-year-old Brooklyn's party was, and they looked all lovey-dovey and all of that, with Brooklyn crying a little bit and wanting to be with her dad, So yeah, they want to know what happened between Mark and Kenya. Did any blowout happen? Was there any Bolo moment? And of course, Kenya, like, well, she doesn't really know because she's been thinking about, what life will be without Mark. And I'm thinking, you've never ever had life with Mark. Okay, girl. But I knew she was going through her DMs to see what might happen afterwards without him, and it's kind of like the girls are supportive. But I really would like for them to let her know that, girl, Mark has moved on. He is with another woman right now. So you can move on with your life, and be with whoever else you want to be with. Anyways, the divorce is probably going to still go on. But Mark says he's open to cancelling, and he wants to spend more time in Atlanta with them and actually be there for the cancelling in person. It's just so confusing. Are they cancelling to try to be better parents to Brooklyn? Are they trying to get there? It's like, I don't know. This whole Kenya's situation is confusing. Okay, Kenya, we don't get it. It's so annoying. Anyways, moving on back to the prophet. Latoya feels, you know what, let's just call the prophet Prophet Lot, the Gucci prophets, okay? And then they get to asking questions. Of course, Marlo gets excited because he's wearing Gucci. Yeah, you might as well be my own pastor too, yes. Marlo is always about the fashions and all of that, So Candy gets to asking the question, are you guys in a relationship? This is what's being spread about you guys and about the baby dedication. He was like, yeah, he was invited, but he hasn't heard anything back about it. And people are a little upset because maybe they're dating or something is going on. And he says no, that he just feels that, the driver, Danny, was kind of worried or upset that, he was getting close to Latoya and he wasn't really liking it, and that, but he's not going to be controlled by anyone, okay? He's a man of God. He's a man of his own word, okay? So of course everybody's wondering, okay, but then it was also being said that you were engaged. Are you engaged? And he's like, no, he's not engaged, but he was engaged 3 years ago, So she's like, you see, of course at this point, Drew feels like, oh, not Drew. Latoya feels vindicated. I told you, he's not in love with me. He's not, I'm not going after him. It was just a coaching moment. And anyway, she wants to know about Ralph. When Ralph was in Miami, did anything happen there? Did God reveal anything to you about any women or any, what happened there? He says no, nothing was revealed to him, that Ralph never spoke to him and that nothing happened about that, you know. So anyway, you know, he pretty much clears the whole thing up. Drew, girl, you got it wrong, okay? Drew got it wrong this time around, you know. Quite frankly, it didn't even make any sense. First of all, why are you having your baby dedication 3 years after when the child is almost like 10? Like, the child has lived, okay? Anyways, next week we're going to see what happens. Apparently Drew and Latoya's situation gets into a real big blowout. I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I think that's the season finale pretty much, as well as Kenya is having some other event and llamas and all of that, and Mark blocking her and not showing up. I think Kenya, I really don't know if Kenya is telling us the truth about Mark and the Mark situation, because 1 minute she says one thing, but what we actually see is a totally different thing. Now Mark is an asshole, we know that. However, I just wish Kenya would pick her life up and, you know, move on to someone else. There are just so many other fish in the sea, like fish, whatever, you know. Move on, Kenya. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to share, be sure to like and subscribe.